We stand with the people of Burma and all others suffering under the foot of the Chinese-supported military regime. We also invite you to watch our video, Founders of Myanmar, Were They Africans, Part 1 and Part 2, so that we can have a perspective of what's going on in Myanmar. Our title is A Rich African History in the Philippines Islands. We know that 30,000 years BCE, ancestors of the Negritos, the first inhabitants, arrived and settled and founded the Philippine Islands. 3000 BCE, Austronesians reached the islands on outrigger canoes. The Datus from Borneo arrived there. We know that this man doesn't represent the indigenous people, or is not a descendant of the indigenous people, but of later arrivals. We know that these are the indigenous people, the Africans in Asia, known as the Negritos in the Philippines, and that the name the Philippines comes from the king of Spain, King Philip II, was named some 475 years ago by a Spanish explorer who arrived in the Philippines, Ruy Lopez de Villalobos. Therefore, 475 years ago is proof enough that the people that named this island, or these islands, the Philippines, are not indigenous. It was 30,000 years before them. There were already other people there. The treatment that they did over the indios, which is the name they give to the indigenous people, whom they regarded as belonging to primitive and inferior races and as fit to be enslaved or subjugated, means this name, Philippines or the Filipino, reflects the victories of the country's invaders. They went on to divide the islands into 3 zones: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The Philippines is a perfect example of how the Mongol types and European colonizers spread out right from China to Taiwan into all Southeast Asia, colonizing and still controlling. The black history of the native owners of the Philippines is not really promoted. We must do the promotion and connections ourselves. Why? Because those islands have a rich melanin-dominant human presence, and we are one with the races that founded those islands. These are the people. Look at them. They are Bantus, straightforward, melanin-dominant people. They came from Sumatra, from Borneo. Today, they have been pushed out and barely surviving. Even Bantu governments and other people elsewhere don't even know about them. They ignore them even if they are told about it. So it is up to us, the conscious ones, to promote our brothers and sisters, the Bantus in Southeast Asia. There are about 87 languages and dialects spoken in the islands, most belonging to the Malay Polynesian linguistic subgroup. Of these, 8 are the first languages of more than 85% of the population. The 4 principal indigenous languages are Cebuano, spoken in this area, in Visayas, Tagalog, spoken right up to the north, predominantly in the area around Manila also, as well as Maranao and other related languages spoken in Mindanao. There is also an island called Zamboanga and the mountains where our brothers and sisters are found. The most crucial point is that the black population of the Philippines was killed off in a form of genocide, and the remainder is continuously being mixed up with Chinese or Europeans and isolated into remote islands or areas. Hence, many indigenous people, even some Ayeta you may see today, simply are the remaining few are pockets of pure black aboriginal types. Some of them have got straight hair, some have got kinky hair, because both of the hair types are found in the islands. They have been like that for thousands of years. So the Ayeta today is just an umbrella term that is used for any black aboriginal person or people that you find in the islands, in the Philippine Islands. You can call them negritos. It's also a scientific term. To this end, many racial undertones and shocking divisive attitudes prevail. Filipino writer Agnes Cagelonia Uligan created a television show for GMA network of the Philippines called Nita Negrita. The story revolves around a Filipino African-American girl named Nita Babi Forteza. Her mother is Filipino and was separated from her mother and father, who was an African-American Filipino and was raised in an orphanage. With a dark complexion, she was always being teased and humiliated. This caused a lot of furore. Indigenous Bantus in Southeast Asia, in the Philippines, are shown here. These are the Igorot people who inhabit the mountain areas of northern Philippines, a region known as the Cordillera. You can see that they are straightforward Bantus, clear melanin-dominant humans. Melanin-dominant humans, again, this is an Igorot warrior with a shield, just like what our ancestors used to do. He is also a melanin-dominant beauty. All of these people are found in the Philippine Islands. Again, Pinoy, Collector, again, they are indigenous people of the Philippines. Now they are a rarity. Same dance styles. This is Mchongoyo in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, which is also the same type of dance in the Philippines. This is really a shocker. When I found this, I was really shocked. Straightforward, this is Magagada in Shona, and then here are the Magagadas, and they are Rishakati. Here, this Rishakati. Straightforward, even the clapping, the jumping. This is what connects us together. Effective spirit released. Again, you can see that these are Bantus, our brothers and sisters. There are no two ways about it. If these people were to go to Africa or any other place where they are melanin-dominant people, they would just walk in the street without anyone asking or having a questioning mind. He's a melanin-dominant human. He's a hunter. It's understandable that they also are capable of staying underwater for more than 9 minutes as they hunt a special type of fish. This has been scientifically proved and tested, and it has now been accepted that their lung capacity totally double normal human beings. You can find it and research and prove it. Melanin-dominant humans, again in the Philippines, these are the Moro mountaineers in Zamboanga. They are Bantus. You can see that straight to the core. Bantus. Some of them here look just like me, if you know me very well. And these are the islands that we have spoken of, Luzon in the north. And this is the South China Sea that has caused a lot of problems in Southeast Asia, with China claiming everything there. This is Zamboanga Peninsula. And this is Malaysia, where most of them came from, and Mindanao is here. And this is the area where Cebuano is spoken of here in the center in Visayas. So these are our brothers. This is our island. This is also our home as Bantus. There are no complaints about that. This is modern men and family. No mixing yet here. Pure, straightforward Bantu. You can see their home, simplified home. See, it's on stilts. This is what the Tongas do in Africa and as well as in Tonga Islands. Building on stilts. You can see here, building on stilts. Again, these are our brothers. And the near white mulattoes in the Philippines, descendants of Chinese and Japanese traders, merchants who first settled in the archipelago starting at about the 12th century after Common Era, and interbred with the original black people, look like this. exactly like that. These are mulattoes, and they will always not want to align with their indigenous original parentage. It's all known. We all know that. Again, this is the new Filipino, now mixed. You can see that they're no longer melanin dominant. It's very, very, very different from these ones who are melanin dominant humans in the Philippines. Again, they are Bantus, melanin dominant in the Philippines. Straightforward, no problems. Afro here, Afro there. They love their Afro. Straightforward, Afro there. And some of them have got straight hair. Again, there is the indigenous Aetas who were called Negritos, little black people by the Spaniards. It's a scientific term. There it is. It's accepted in scientific studies. Classification. There is this. We have Aeta people here in the Philippines, mostly in Pampanga province, located in central Luzon, in the north. There, again, you can see they are just like any Muntu. Again, Muntu there, melanin dominant humans in the Philippines. Again, another Muntu, a girl here, melanin dominant human in the Philippines. Again, more here. This is a 1909 print and a Grito family Aboriginal mountain tribe. There, she is a healer. You can see that. And this one is a Catholic or a Christian maybe. You can see the Afro. This melanin dominant human in the Philippines is very, very apparent. Melanin dominant in the Philippines. This is the Lugao marriage dress. Never Islands of Luzon. This is a wedding. Their traditional wedding. Again, there they are. And here they are at a meeting here. Demonstration somehow. Again, these are melanin dominant humans. More. Here they are using mortar and pestle to prepare some food. These are melanin dominant people. The same thing that we do here in Africa using mortar and pestle. Again, in a country that values East Asian, half Caucasian, and the lighter skinned Filipinos, the real owners who founded this island are at the bottom of the barrel. Despite this, they are still a happy and a prideful people since they are naturally connected. It is time we lend a hand and promote them, for they are us. We thank many scholars and bloggers like this blog, which you can find here, World Away from Home, the indigenous black Filipinos. And he visited the Filipinos, the Philippines Islands, and took images and wrote stories. You can go to his blog, and there's a lot of information there. There is too much information about our brothers and sisters in these islands. A lot of scholars have done a lot of work. You have to download this image. It has to soak in your mind. You have to keep hard copies. You buy books, grab images, understand them, appreciate them, because these are us. This is our history. The Chinese are ruling those islands instead of this man who was supposed to be the president of the Philippines. But you can see they're mixed, mulatto. The Spaniards are now in charge of the islands named after their ancestor, King Philip II of Spain. As I always said, the Chinese are ruling. Is China recolonizing Africa? China is recolonizing the whole world. You can see here they put up a poster. Welcome to the Philippines, a province of China. I think this rattles a lot of the Filipinos, because what it is saying here is that the Chinese are coming to take over their lands. Ubuntu, MAAT consciousness, is effective spirit released. This is what we teach. We want to thank you for watching and supporting our channel. If you have any questions or any issues that you wish we can look into and research, send us an email on join@maarifado.com. Melanin dominant humans. Our motive is to bring awareness, connection, physically and otherwise, with all Bantu or melanin dominant people anywhere on earth. Their stories, their civilizations, their pains, happiness, history, and images is our cultural heritage. That is what Maarifado means. We must fight so that their way of life is never lost. We must fight so that our way of life is never lost again or forever. This is Maarifado. Cultural identity and Ubuntu MAAT spirit. We say, know your enemy and embrace your friend. Subscribe to our channel, Hamid Iburu Ethics. This preacher Rabbi LM Tumizulu saying we are rebuilding our greatness. Join us today at maarifado.com and let us walk this journey together as melanin dominant humans. Tatenda, Siabonga, Enkos, Edupe, Asante Sana.